Hey everybody, Who's Your Jedi here with another review for you. This time I'm talking episode 10 of season 3 of Riverdale, The Stranger. I almost lost it there for a second. But yeah, this is another pretty solid episode of the series, and there's definitely some really crazy twists and turns here that I really, really liked. So let's just get into it. First things first, yeah, Tallboy's not dead, or at least for part of the episode, and then he is dead. Okay, now I kind of wondered if this was what something was going to happen because basically we never saw Tall Boy die last season. We were just told he was killed by Sheriff Mineta, which um, seemed a little weird. I think I heard something about the actor having broken his collarbone, and I figured like maybe that's why he was killed off screen. And that might have been what happened. They just decided, hey, you know what? We never showed him dead, so let's give the actor a proper goodbye and bring him back for one more surprise. Because I was like, when they took off Unmasked the Gargoyle, I was like, Tall Boy? Are you kidding me? But then again, Tall Boy was just the dude in the costume. I mean, he even flat out says he was the one, along with his goons, who broke into Betty's house. We've seen the Gargoyle King with Hiram. Hiram is clearly, pulling the strings here because Tall Boy worked for Hiram. I mean, not that this is any surprise, but I mean, this whole thing ends with Hiram getting shot. Okay, didn't see that happening. Now, of course, he survives because if he dies right now, then basically a lot of people's problems just vanish overnight. So, of course, he has to survive. But this is a nice reminder for us and for Hiram that he's not invincible. I mean, this is kind of how it is for guys like Hiram. I mean, think about it. Think about some of the most famous gangsters in American history. Al Capone, he died in jail. John Gotti died in jail. Whitey Bulger was murdered in jail. Never mind all those other guys like uh, John Dillinger, who died when somebody shot them. Guys like Hiram, gangsters, generally don't get to just pass away peacefully in their beds from natural causes. That's just not the way stuff like this works. I'm sure there are exceptions here and there, but live by the sword, die by the sword, or get thrown in jail by the feds. So yeah, this is a reminder that after everything we've seen, where Hiram seems to have everything going his way, he's still a vulnerable guy who can be killed by somebody hiding and shooting with a gun. Of course, this begs the question, who shot Hiram? Well, we got a long, long list of potential suspects. That's for sure. And I like how this episode really did a nice job of just, once again, really reinforcing what a total dirtbag Hiram is. He wants Claudius to be the new sheriff, despite Claudius having no discernible qualifications whatsoever. I mean, his whole thing was basically like he worked on a ship for most of his life. And, never mind that, he's the brother of a guy who murdered his kid. Yeah, that's never going to stand. I mean, sheriffs do have to be elected. Hermione can temporarily appoint him as sheriff, but there's going to have to be an election. And again, the people of Riverdale are going to be saying, why this guy? Hermione does have to answer for that. So this makes no sense whatsoever. Hiram is making a really stupid move here. And, Hermione tries to point it out, but and I do like how this kind of goes where, like, Hiram says, like, yeah, you're going to do this if you know what's good for you. Again, reinforcing Hermione's claim somewhat that Hiram would indeed hurt her if she ever seriously pushed back against him. But again, this is a really dumb move on Hiram's part. It just doesn't make sense. And again, he somehow has to find some way for his wife to justify this to the people of Riverdale, and it makes no sense whatsoever. Of course, Hermione ultimately ends up making FP the new sheriff of Riverdale, despite him, having been convicted of helping of helping Jason and Cheryl's dad cover up the murder of his son. Again, he was convicted of assisting in the cover up of the murder of a teenager. And now he gets to be the sheriff. How in the holy hell is Hermione going to justify that? I mean, it's actually worse. Because Claudius is just, as far as the public knows, completely and utterly unqualified. FP is a convicted criminal and a known gang leader. I mean, he's retired, but... oh, man. Still, this does kind of feel, if you look at it all, like a role FP really would be well suited for, in an odd sort of way. He does care about Riverdale. He knows the people from the rough part of town. He knows how to deal with them. He knows how to reason with them. And he ain't afraid the least little bit of Hiram. I mean, FP was there right next to Fred when Fred flat out threatened to murder Hiram to his face. Never mind that Hiram's goon Penny Peabody had the ghoulies beat his kid within an inch of his life. And, mutilated him. I mean, granted, Jughead mutilated Penny Peabody first, but still. Yeah, FP is an unconventional choice, but he does have an oddly qualified skill set for this job. Nice to see Hal again being immensely creepy. And it does kind of put a really weird perspective thing that, her mom is the person who's, not a serial killer, but has gone so completely down the cult rabbit hole that she's given away Betty's college fund and is using that to basically push Betty to go and study at the farm, which is probably not a certified educational institution. And it's her crazy serial killer dad who is actually being reasonable and comforting to her. Yeah, he manipulates Betty, but he does sign the paper that would help her get her money back, except, it's too late. And I'm pretty sure if she challenged that in court, she could make the farm give the money back. She should really go talk to Josie's mom about that. But he does, do an odd bit of good parenting by pointing out to Betty, like, Betty, you're ridiculously smart. Colleges are going to be falling all over themselves to offer you a scholarship. And he's right. Betty is a very good student. There are other people in the comics in Riverdale who are portrayed as smarter than her, like Eugene and Dilton Doily. But Betty is absolutely no academic slouch. And here on the show, she's consistently been shown as being a very good student. So, yeah. Right on there. I mean, I guess it does show that there is, like, some sliver of good left in Hal. But, that's kind of the funny thing with the parents on Riverdale, especially the evil ones, that their love for their children is always genuine. And it is, like in the case of Hiram, their one real redeeming feature. So let's see. Nothing particular to say about Jughead here, though I do like how he did show some pretty good quick thinking with the whole situation. And it's not as if his dad doesn't know how to deal with a dead body. So I don't think Tall Boy's corpse is going to be too big of a problem. Archie was kind of an interesting bag this episode. He quickly ditches the brown hair. I thought they were laying it on a little thick with the whole, Archie Andrews, the, good small town kid that we knew died. Like, okay, come on. Like, he falls back, and he's, in a lot of ways, really is struggling with that. He's almost physically pained by seeing the person that he used to be. And he does have to deal with some serious crap when he gets back. I mean, Hiram still wants him dead. He inadvertently finds out that, Reggie and Veronica kind of had a thing. Um, the SATs are a blow up in his face, which, yeah, he's not exactly had a lot of time to study. Weatherby might not be the most caring guy in the world, but he does offer Archie some very good and very reasonable advice of, you should probably repeat your junior year. And Archie's only objection to this is, but then I wouldn't be able to graduate with my friends. Archie, you'd still have one more year with your friends, and you would only be separated from them for like 1 year. Okay? Plus, you guys are probably not going to go to the same university anyway, so it's not like you guys weren't going to scatter to the winds anyhow. But Archie makes the completely unreasonable choice, but the one that makes sense for his character and, of course, for maintaining the consistency of the show. And it blows up in his face. Kind of weird that Archie did get all offended when Veronica... And I do like that they didn't drag out the whole Archie finding out about what happened between Reggie and Veronica. Okay, it happens right here in the same episode. They don't waste time. The whole thing of Veronica asking Archie, did you shoot my dad? They don't waste time. It happens right here in this episode. And I like that. I mean, Archie understandably was upset when he found out what happened between Veronica and Reggie, from Reggie, by accident. But once he's calmed down, he's pretty cool and reasonable with Veronica about it. Okay, good on Archie for that. I'm a little less on board with him getting all offended when Veronica asks, did you shoot my dad? One, because just the other episode, Archie had this bizarre dream sequence where he totally stabbed Hiram to death. So the whole thing. And then back in the barn, he was like, okay, I'm going to try and kill Hiram now. Like, Archie, you were literally just a while ago planning to make a suicidal attempt on Hiram's life. In your crazy dream sequence, you did kill him. You do realize that Veronica understands if her dad is dead, a lot of your serious problems go away. You are the most likely person in Riverdale to want to kill Hiram. You were totally going to hunt down and kill the Black Hood last season. Veronica has every reason in the world to believe you would do this. And she doesn't accuse you of it. She asks you, did you do this? And you can tell this is killing her to do it. And then Archie gets all offended by this. Like, come on, Archie. You literally were willing to kill her father a couple episodes ago, even in an almost suicidal attempt. So Archie's full of crap on that one. And this brings us to Hermione. It's time. Okay, I think behind the scenes, Hermione has been making some moves, and now it's time. I think she's finally realized, like, I'm not spending the rest of my life living in fear of my husband. I need to kind of find my own thing. Of course, this still leaves us with unanswered questions. Who caused Principal Featherhead's death? Well, the only suspects are still one of the parents, and that includes Hermione. What's all of this crap with the Gargoyle King coming back now have to do with anything? I really have to wonder if Hermione has not been playing some ridiculous long game most of her life, and even Hiram didn't even realize it. Or she dug up some old part of herself from back when she was a high school kid and decided, you know what, enough's enough. I need to get away from Hiram. Hermione can't do it, but the Gargoyle King can. Again, theory, but... Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you this time. Just so everybody knows, I am still having VPN problems, which make it difficult for me to basically impossible to watch the CW shows that I watch. Here, I live here in Japan, and here I can watch the Riverdale on Netflix. I have to use my VPN to watch the other CW shows. Um, and I'm really trying to avoid any sort of thing where I have to use a VPN that I have to pay for. I mean, granted, they're pretty affordable, but every penny counts these days. So, yeah, I'm gonna still working on that. I think I might have to end up biting the bullet and signing up for a VPN, but that's not the worst thing in the world. But I'm gonna keep checking to see if I can find a free VPN that works for me just a little bit longer. Anyway, guys, that's been about 15 minutes, so I'm going to call it here. Until next time, take care and have a good one.